more cover about daily updating so Kevin Taylor yɛmfa credit ma no last analyst media ɔbɔ adwuma yi paa wama yɛ update bi ɛba ɛyɛ mixing ECG containers na yɛnim sɛ yɛakye India's ɛne Chinese ɛna ɔka sɛ saa ɛyɛ India ne Chinese foɔ yi a yɛakye wɔn the BNI foɔ na akye wɔn a NIB or BNI or more investigation team and as an intelligence unit of BNI John Janapoka say or mobile investigation and what this team this BNI intelligence plus the business India Chinese India for Nayachom they are going to lead us to NAPO. Yes, they are going to lead the arrest. They are going to lead the BNI to NAPO for the arrest because according to Kevin Taylor Chesen, because Yera NAPO on a former energy minister in the Akufo-Addo government, yeah, or the free Benny. Until a year NAPO afenyo those leadership but three and NAPO. So the BNI intelligence with the arrested suspect and they do a move to NAPO for better interrogation or for immediate interrogation. You could see a year Kevin Taylor
wasn't just the Indian and then through the security agencies normal arrest they also arrested some Chinese. You can see 8 Chinese Ghanaian arrested over missing ECG containers. We know for a fact to say the NPP, they sold these containers and that they were quick to go to market. Oh, and these Yaton containers, they know what is coming. They know. Yachi Indiani, Yachi Chinese before, they are getting close to about 30 or over people who have been arrested. And they are going to lead us to NAPO. They are going to lead us to NAPO because NAPO was the energy minister. How these people got access to the containers. So what these people do, they say, containers in the what they do is only custom officers be a committee bomu and containers in the But when it comes to ECG under NAPO on the system, it is 3,000. Into a airport one na containers no what they do is say yi wirings na wom ni nyina na wires no eya na rubber wo ho into yi rubber na ka kopa no man nane wia no the container na back. This time they were not fortunate and aban sesai into aban sesai na container na carbon they could not bring it back. All the containers that left the port no in 2024 the latter part of 2024 ya ba beto aba no move that container ni nyina. Right now, the Chinese, the Indian man, they have all been arrested. Indian in 40 containers in the water. This is a developing story. We know. And all right now, and it's exactly 6:03 p.m., 10 p.m. in Ghana. You were 40. The Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, Madam Eye Tokonu. And the Asama Abetoho Ninina say, the Chief Justice of Ghana, about 2 days ago, and it is say, President of the Republic, President John Mahama, I can say me or say, Nipa ba miensa the petition be abreno. Petition be a ono president there, only to me so obedi hu dwuma sisia if you say emra no emma no ho kwan. If you say ono president, oni sa to me na e wo se okasa petition no mahwem na mehwehwe mu wie na mabehu se chief justice odifo ana odibem. Emran so ebo Ghana ho bra na kire say saa asem ni say bi si a was a president no or this sa petition no edema council of state. Now council of state for and was omo hwehwem pensem now so omo hwem no mo pensem hu say sa petition de emu owiram ye hu ni say as a chief justice ne wa kan adwem anas oyanyoma bi a now omo about president and send a president at the committee. Now committee no so at 1 day the state agency has not paid to clear the containers. So it has become a state property. Into technically no omo manasha de guo and a demurrage action and a still almost shipping more deba. Now mamin ko benim. It says team. Okay. Now, when you read the point 10, this is what it says. Containers that remained uncleared for a period of time attract demurrage charges payable to the shipping line Inti so containers in the report wa na say 21 days na so obi ambe year sa shipping line na ebia temaport companies na omu hosti containers na esi o masase so no omu keep containers no now demurrage no was say boa o containers every single day bia no it builds up cano almost all container amount you need to pay basically to make it easy for you no shipping line no and our companies now a host o container na say container this see o masase so port no you have to pay every day for not coming to clear your container. The big Muhammad knew. ECG board led by Keligajipo as the board chair, they knew, they still ignored. They were still shipping containers outside Ghana coming to the port even though they knew say they had hundreds of containers sitting there attracting demurrage. They didn't care. They were still shipping in containers. Dubig said there's no money, but they are still ordering more things to be stuck at the port. Why is it so? Somebody is doing something. There is a plan. Point 11. The number of containers on UCL kept rising with exponential increase in demurrages. Into omo who say afedie containers no ba na eba ECG a onyi containers no ba na eba ECG so a mo an omo kra and abegu na demurrage ache no and sika ne kosro. Dubik Muhammad does not care. Keligajipo, who was the board chair, did not care. Now the question here is, why do you think they know that containers are piling up and they are still shipping containers back? Why do they know, say, the containers are attracting demurrage? Why do you think they didn't do anything about it? The answer is in the pudding. There's a plan. There's a game. They know what they are doing. They are piling it for a reason. Now let's go to point 12. By December 2024, the number of ECG containers on uncleared cargo list UCL had totaled 2,491. Almost say at the end of December 2024, no, not Dubik Mahama, crack containers is 2,941 in the support war. Clear any guho. Busa say why? Sa containers see a good port way. Where investigations now, John Jinapo, Emma, a committee, no, this is their findings. Why do you think they are doing that? Why are they not concerned? Because it is looking more like demurrage no mutual crampo. At the end of the day, it could be say a bit to make your containers 100,000 times, but they are leaving the containers there to attract more debt. I didn't know more, yes, sir. Now let's go on. When you get to point 13, sorry. Point 13, this is what it says. Management wrote to the Commissioner General of Ghana Revenue Authority for restoration and request was subsequently granted. Into management, as actual letter comma GRE, per restoration. And a GRE, that time, na ekufuadu nipano, amishadai, ananyonwa, na sa kronfona, and abiyanya amishadai. Akwebina na, when we do retirement na ekufuadu sa extending, they kept that guy there, and that guy restored, that guy granted that. Now read point 14, there's something there, let me show you. Point 14 in the investigative report, or see. The Materials and Transport Directorate initiated negotiations with the shipping lines with respect to waivers of demurrage cost and had a favorable deal from the shipping lines. In the Material and Transport the Department of ECG, they wrote a letter to the shipping line. Companies now hold containers no port and say, "Ya percent ka enemo edin komona moma ye waiver bi." Now, whoever no anke boya made me clear air containers. No, this is a department with ECG. They were trying to take action because they thought to say a can 2,941 containers and a go. They wanted to have a negotiation with a shipping line so that the shipping line can meet them halfway for them to be able to ask for some waiver. And as a entisobi now to me a clear container. No, this is their transport and material for no. They are trying to be proactive. Now, Rebecca said, where is the evidence? I mentioned one letter. I have about 20 letters. I have container numbers, but I mentioned letters. This is one of the letters they wrote to one of the letters they wrote to the shipping line. It is a study. This letter was written on the 18th of October 2024. 18th of October 2024. Technically, almost a month after Dubik Mahama resigning a free infant ECG. So when you read the letter, you will see it. Electricity Company of Ghana, Electro Voltage House. The letter is dated 18th October 2024. Now, when you read, it says the commercial director, Meridian Part Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, Port new for no, no mu hold the containers no, into na ECG for department no, actually letter come say, percent komo mu waiver bi, nanka tumi den, eboa na clear containers the team. So study letter the date now. October 2024, now Afenyomakin was the board chair. Afenyomakin became the board chair on July 2024. July 2024, and Afenyomakin ebe a board chair. Until when this letter was being written to MPS for a waiver, Afenyomakin was the board chair of the ECG. And that department of ECG, were worried. They really wanted a waiver into a mutual letter. And to remember, this letter, Afenyomakin should know about it. Unless as a board chair, he wants to come in front of Jakpa and tell the whole Ghana, say, he knew nothing about this letter. And that the letter was written by that department head without consulting the MD and also the board. Until Afenyomakin should come out and tell us, say, he doesn't know anything about this letter. Now, what is in the letter? Let me read what's in the letter. So the board chair, Ono Afenyomakin, your letter we no, on na LED board no. Now read the letter now. We respectfully request a waiver of terminal charges accrued on the unit attached below, which have overstayed in your terminal. Many of the units were imported as supply inputs for various electrification expansion programs and a stock for critical repair and maintenance. However, due to many reasons impacting on our supply chain, these units have grossly overstayed at the terminal and attracted prohibitive detention charges. I'm sorry, it's very faint. So I'm doing my best to read for you to know what is actually in that letter that that department at ECG wrote to the MPS, the shippers, the containers. It is our hope and expectation that a 90% waiver will be granted on all accrued charges to enable us to clear the units by the beginning of the week. This letter was written on the 18th of October 2024. Afenyomakin was the board chair of ECG. And the department that wrote this letter, a department is under the leadership of Dubik Mahama, who is the MD, and Afenyomakin, who is the board chair. Now, into study, all the letter was trying to say, then they say, how much your letter come MPS? Usheni Paul signing a friend, Engineer David B. Asamoah, Managing Director, Acting, Deputy Managing Director, Engineer and Operations, ECG, Director, Materials and Transport. Into the head of Materials and Transport, Mr. David B. Asamoah, he actually wrote this letter to MPS, Temaport, to say they need a 90% waiver. Omunyi ekani bebre free sunenka 10%. Na omuntumi enclear containers 2,941 na egu na attracted more cost no. Afenyomakin was the board chair. Dubik Mahama was board chair. The question is, these two people, did they know about this letter? Can they tell us if they had access, they were told about this letter? Does Afenyomakin know anything about this letter? Does Dubik Mahama know anything about this letter? Because this letter was sent to MPS. That's our first document. Afenyomakin is guilty. And anything I can say, let us all come together. Obwa, the crime, now you can't watch them. The crime, now you can't watch them. Afenyomakin knows everything about this crime. In fact, today in Parliament, he gave you a lot of information. And to remember, this letter, we will publish it, we will let the world know. Afenyomakin needs to come and tell us whether he knew about this letter as the board chair, and also Dubik Mahama, if he also knew about this letter as the MD. We want answers. It's simple as that. Now, when you read the investigation or investigative report, there's something here I want you to look at. Oko eye number and now point 15. Point 15. Where your page 22 in the report. We will publish it, don't worry. Page 22.15. Mami numusio kakra.
Sure, and I shall also subscribe to the YouTube channel, like and share, and comment, and share, 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 and share,